Frozen Sonic Mini 8K S. It's in the print.
This is Groundeffected. My name is your dad, and welcome to my video on the Phrozen Sonic Mini 8K S. That is a mouthful, but what I can surely say is this machine is not a handful. This is a very small printer, however, don't let this little dynamite package confuse you at all. Now, this is Phrozen's entry into the entry-level printers on a budget. And this is the first time that Phrozen has brought us the same quality and the same level of printing down to a very bite-sized, pocket-fitting amount of money to spend on a 3D printer. They have cut out some of the high costs of producing these machines, but they didn't compromise on the quality. This is the world's first 3D printer that offers the highest resolution at an affordable price. This is an 8K machine for the price of a much lesser machine. The machine itself produces 22 microns of XY resolution. This is freaking amazing. Now you would be saying to yourself, why, Mr. Groundeffected, would I be buying this machine over the Mini 8K? And that would be the price, of course. The Sonic Mini has dual linear rails, and the Mini 8KS has a single linear rail. Don't let that fool you though. This is really a very thick single linear rail. And I don't know about you, but in my book, thicker is always better. And while the printing volume of the Mini And while the printing volume of the Mini 8KS compared to the 8K is technically 1 centimeter smaller on the Z-axis, that is what she said, this is made up for by being 3 kgs lighter than the Sonic Mini 8K. The Mini 8KS has a textured black body and it has a fluorescent green plastic cover. Now, one thing I'm not so sure about, but they have done it anyway, is that the USB port, instead of being on the front, is now on the side. I'm not sure about that one, but it doesn't really bother me because I have enough space between my machines anyway, because I need to move the lids on and off, so it's not such a major one for me. But if you want the machine to have a USB in the front, that's not this machine. As for the 8K resin, I really like this resin. I think this resin does really well, especially on the undersides of the prints, in the areas that you would usually get mush. I like this resin and I would use this resin more often. But I do find that the resin's a little bit expensive. It just performs really well. So when I have the spare money, I like to splash out and get myself some. Some other facts about this machine: its build volume is 165 millimeters by 72 millimeters by 170 millimeters. This is the average size of a small printer and is more than adequate if you're printing miniatures, and if you're printing large scale statues, they would need to be cut up, but most sculptors tend to give you these files in pre-sliced situations anyway. This is on the smaller end of the scale. However, if you're living in a very small space and you still want to be able to print, but you also don't want to throw out loads of money on the latest 8K machines, this is a really good affordable option probably for you. In my opinion and the experiences that I've had with this machine, it printed almost immediately out of the box. Obviously I have a load of experience with printing, so printing with the machine usually is fairly easy. I don't tend to come across many problems on many machines. This machine was a breeze, super easy to print with. The one thing I do want to say, if you're printing really shallow things and you don't allow enough time for the resin to fall off of the build plate itself, when it lifts all the way to the top at the end of the print, it does splash a little bit of resin all over the front of your nice green plastic cover. And I'm pretty sure that there will be a fix for this in future. I don't know, don't count your chickens before they are hatched is a saying. I don't know if it applies, but I said it. Let's have a look at some of the prints that were made from this machine. I printed a load of Warhammer proxies and models that you wouldn't be able to get from the plastic kind of Warhammer in the first place. And this is the wonderful thing about 3D printing. You can have whatever you want now. If it doesn't exist, there is probably someone out there who's already made it, or you could pay someone to make it for you. Now, of course, while we're looking at these pictures, I do need to say I was definitely sent this machine for free, and of course Phrozen asked me to make a video about this machine, so my opinion is taken with a pinch of salt, or however you feel like taking it. I really like this machine. For me, this machine fits into the area where my old mini 4K used to be, and essentially this is going to take over the role of the mini 4K, which usually was small kind of miniatures or things that I didn't really need to worry about filling up my larger machines with. I can use this machine to print smaller things, know that it's working in the background. It's a little bit slower than the other machines, but that's okay because the quality it produces is out of this world. It's really amazing. I can print down to the lowest I've ever been able to print on this machine, and I like that. So it will have its place in my collection of machines, and it will do its job. As you can see by these prints, they are really highly detailed. A lot of these prints are printed at 0.05. I didn't even go down all the way to 22 microns. I was at max at probably 30 microns. So this can still get even lower if I really needed to, but the anti-aliasing works amazing. Everything seems to work great. For now, it isn't really supported by any of the other slicers yet, at least that I know of. I have heard of people using it on Cheetahbox, but to be honest, I have not been able to figure out how to use it on anything other than the Voxel Dance Tango app that they asked me to download. Hopefully this will be supported by other apps soon. I don't really know this app and I'm quite unfamiliar with it at all. So I pretty much support Lychee and then just put everything that I supported into this app and then export the files and the slices from there, and it works. It works great for me. It's just like a go-between until I can figure out. Hopefully soon Lychee will have it available in their selected printers. Lychee, please do that. I'm asking very nicely. And now we are at the end of another Groundeffected video. I hope you managed to find some information that helps you in this video. Maybe it's making a choice of a 3D printer. Maybe you just wanted to see something that you hadn't seen yet on this particular printer. If it helped you in any way, make sure to leave some words of encouragement in the square box. That is encouragement to the algorithm to hopefully push my videos out to more people so that we can finally take over the YouTube. Now, I would like to say a special thanks to my Patreons for their support. It has been amazing, the support that I've had from you guys. Of course, if you want to keep my eyes blinded by lights, I need you to support the Patreon. And I am working very frantically in the background, figuring out how I can bring a bit more value to you in the Patreon. Of course, it's really busy, so much is happening. I never expected YouTube to be as busy as it was. I didn't really know it would take over all of my life. And of course, I now need to figure out how to make this work. So please bear with me. Thank you so much for your support. And if you didn't like anything you saw in this video or any of the other videos, then I have one thing to say to you. Just f off. Now I'm gonna go print some more miniatures that I'm probably never gonna paint.